Well,
So
before you get there, you make the decision to go to Indiana University and swim with the famous Doc Counsilman. How did you end up there? And I want to kind of know more about Doc Counsilman from your point of view, because I hear so much about him. I read so much about him, and it seems
yeah.
like just a remarkable man. But how did you end up in Indiana?
Doc had a pretty profound, even though he wasn't one of the coaches of the 68 team, he came and he visited the training camp because he had a lot of Indiana swimmers on that team.
Mm.
So he kept coming back to, help them out. And the coaches, allowed that. They wanted Doc. Doc was a great coach. In fact, he'd been the head coach in 64 of the Olympic team, great success. And even though he wasn't named there, he was kind of always present. I think there were 6 high schoolers on the 68 team, on the men's team, which
Wow.
you'd never find today, but in those days it wasn't unusual.
Yeah.
Five of them ended up at Indiana.
The Doc was a good recruiter then.
He wasn't he wasn't a hard seller. He was, just because he was so profound. He was, he's a funny guy. Had a lot of great qualities, and those people, the coaches out there, were lucky enough to know him, know that he had all these amazing personalities that made him the great coach. It wasn't just his science that made him a great coach. I still think his sense of humor was one of his best features that he had. He's always making us laugh. Bad jokes, but he somehow made them funny. I don't know, but he had a tremendous ability as a psychologist to get the best out of his athletes. He's a fun guy to be around. He was always reading, always inquisitive, always trying to figure things out. Very science-oriented, science-based, funny, made you feel at ease. He had a great ability to really take a team and get the best out of them. So for me, it came down to really 2 schools. It was USC, Indiana. I looked at Yale, looked at Princeton. At that time, the swimming level wasn't really up to the same. Looked at Stanford, same thing. Decided, those were the 2 big swimming schools of the day. And Doc won me over. Even though I was in California, I went back to Indiana, and the year before me, Mark Spitz had done the same. So we were fortunate. We won, while I was there, we won 4 straight NCAA championships. We'd won the 2 before that, so we had 6 straight, which was a pretty good run.
Yeah, massive run. Is there anyone from this era that you could compare Doc to? Like, is there anyone comparable to him these days?
Not really. He's one of a kind. I mean,
really, yeah, he must have been, because I mean, the impact he's had is just incredible. Like, everybody talks about Doc Counsilman, so he must have been remarkable.
And not only was he remarkable, but I want to give some kudos to his wife, Marge, who passed away. And we went back for her funeral. I want to say it was maybe in 2014 or something like that, 13. And she was as remarkable as he was. She was, like fully supportive of Doc and everything he did. But she became like the team mother of all these guys. And when I was swimming there, only one of us was from Indiana. So we had 33 swimmers on the team, or whatever the number was. 32 of them came from somewhere, either out of the state or out of the country. And Marge would just embrace every single one of us. Open door policy at her house. You couldn't go there on any night of the week or weekend without seeing a few swimmers there. It was just, they were always there. Always there.
Wow.
And so she and Doc sacrificed, in a sense, their own family to adopt this family of swimmers.
Wow. What an impact, hey? That's amazing. Yeah. Now, what else was I going to say here? I was going to say something about, man, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Just thinking about all the swimmers hanging out at Doc's house. I'm like, I want to go there, check it out. But
by the way, she made the world's best lasagna. I just have to throw that in.
So you were there quite a bit then. That's good.